Hello, friends and family. It's day 105, cycle 5, day 20. I'm Jen. Today and every day, we talk about my quest to crush aggressive diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, DLBCL, stage 4, and we're using the R-EPOCH immunotherapy chemotherapy to crush non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Thank you so much for joining me on the journey today. Let's get into it. So a little secret. I don't have a daily thought. I don't know. I just don't have one. But instead of a daily thought today, I'm going to give you a quote. And you guys can share your thoughts on the quote. How's that? All right, ready? When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Amanda Gorman, The Hill We Climb. So for those who don't know, Amanda Gorman was the Youth Poet Laureate at the inauguration, which I have no affiliation one way or the other with, but just pretty amazing young woman. And today, her book was published, The Hill We Climb, which includes this poem that she spoke at the inauguration. So I decided that we would honor her accomplishment by using her quote. So thank you. All right, so I don't have anything additional. I'm not going to break down that quote for you. If you guys want to break it down, feel free to do that down below. We're going to keep going on to How Am I? So I am okay. I'm still having those energy issues. They're lingering. And I feel a little bit ungrateful, to be honest with you. Because for the most part, my symptoms have abated, eased. We talked about this yesterday. And I'm getting further and further away from feeling like a cancer/chemo patient. Just overall, I feel pretty good. But this energy issue, just this lingering malaise feeling, it's not nice, and I don't like it. And you know, I'm a high energy person, so it's really dragging me down, and I can't stand it. So I do feel ungrateful, and for focusing, harping on it. And I guess I need to adjust my brain, as I've done in the past. Maybe I'll have to work on that. I need to adjust my attitude and my approach so that it doesn't bother me so much. So let me do some thinking on that tonight and figure out how to get that done. Okay. So angel delivery, as far as I know, there was no angel delivery. Again, I don't believe anyone got the mail, so I could be wrong. Hope I'm not. I'd like to give a little happy birthday shout out to my niece. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a good one. Enjoy it. And I hope you have many more happy birthdays. All right. What's next? Doctor news. I got to pull out the notebook here. So I think I mentioned yesterday that I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I did, and it was quite nice. So I talked to him about my concerns, and I'm going to share them with you because I'm all about transparency and education. So I mentioned that the night sweats, while very, very concentrated and a lot during my 5 days of treatment, which may be prednisone or whatever, I'm still having some, and I said, I don't know is that old age? Is that just the change temperature? I'm like, it's not crazy like it is during those 5 days, but it is significant, and he went on to tell me a story about how he has night sweats, and he's not at all worried that I'm having night sweats. So I'm like, okay, so he's not reading that as a symptom of, the lymphoma is aggressive or refractory. So I was like, what else? I mentioned the lip tingles to him. I told him I called into the triage and it wasn't bothering me anymore. It was just for a few days right after treatment. And he mentioned that it could be a form of neuropathy that they don't see very often. I'm like, that's what I said, and I'm not a medical professional. I didn't say that to him, but I just shook my head and took notes. He said, as long as it's not happening anymore, he's not worried about it. What else do we talk about? I asked them if they had any vaccines at the center. He told me appointment or two ago that the center is cleared to administer the vaccines. Like they're an approved site, but they just can't get any vaccines. So I asked because I understand that more vaccines are coming into the state, but not yet. He doesn't have any. Let's see. All right, so then I asked 2 more important questions that I'm going to share with you. One was, I mentioned that this energy issue that I'm having, just I don't feel fully charged, I told him, which is my best way to describe it. And his opinion was basically, he didn't say it in so many words. It's something I say to the boys all the time. But he said, my last blood work showed me to be a little bit anemic. I was under 10. I think it was 9 point something. I could go look it up. And it's unclear if I'm going down now or if I'm going back up since I'm not, I haven't been treated. I asked Bill today, I'm like, do I look really pale? Do you think I'm low? Maybe I need a transfusion. He's like, no, I don't think you're pale. So I guess I'm not, it's not that low. He also said that, as we've talked about already, that the chemotherapy is cumulative, and I've been through a lot over the last several months, and he kind of expects it, kind of thing. He's like, but as much as you can, keep moving. And then this was kind of funny. Then we got into this whole conversation, so I said, well, I have a step goal of 7,000 steps a day, and I make it most days except when I'm really sick, on the sick, the really bad chemo days or whatever. And he says, even when you're working from home? And I said, yes, even when I'm working from home. He's like, how do you do that? It was pretty hysterical. He's like, now that I'm doing these telehealths from home. So their office has a lot of doctors, and they only let 1 or 2 doctors be in the office at the same time because of the COVID rules, because they don't want a lot of people there, doctors and patients. And so everybody else does the telehealth on their off days kind of thing, right? So, or hospital rounds, whatever. But in the office, they only have 1 or 2 doctors on most days, where they used to have, I don't know, 5, 7, something, a lot of doctors. Now they didn't get rid of any of the doctors. They're just working from home essentially. Right. So he's like, when I used to be in the office, I get like 5-6 miles. Now I'm home and I look down and I got 30 steps. And he's like, so how do you do it? I'm like, well, I said, I had back surgery 15 years ago, and my back surgeon said, never stay in the same position for more than 15 minutes. So if I'm sitting for longer than 15 minutes, then I shift cheeks or shift the angle, so I'm not in one position. And you guys probably see me moving around while I'm sitting with you guys even. So if I'm in one position for longer than 15 minutes, I shift. And I said, probably somewhere between 2 to 4 times an hour, I actually get up out of my chair, walk around the room, or pace a little bit, or, run up the steps. But, I move every hour for sure. And I try to do it at least twice an hour if I can. And he's like, huh. So it was kind of an interesting conversation. Okay, now the last question I had, which I did not think he was going to answer. I think I alluded to this before when we talked. So he said that, what did he say? He said, he reiterated that we changed the chemo. It's not going to be this Friday. It's going to be the following Friday. And then he said he wants to see me in the office, not virtually. I think he said May 3rd-ish. So a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks post treatment. And he said at that time he would put in the orders for the PET scan. So that means it's got to go through my insurance company again. Fingers crossed it's going to go through quickly since they already approved it once. And he would want to not have me scanned until the end of May, basically. He said mid to late May, to give the chemotherapy enough time to do everything it's got to do. So I said, okay. So then I asked, okay, so what are the next steps? So let's, assuming that the scan comes out clean, the last one was very encouraging, that this one's clean, what are the next steps? And he said, then we would do another scan 3 months after that. And then after that, we would do, if that was clean, then we do a scan 4 months after that. And then they must have some timetable where they continue to monitor you for, if I recall, it used to be like quarterly, and then, 3 times a year, and then 2 times a year, and so forth. I'm trying to think, what else did he say? Let me just recheck the notes. Quarterly. So then I said, okay, so what about if it doesn't come out clean like we're expecting? So then he said, well, if that was the case, he's like, A, I would be very surprised because your blood work doesn't look like that. But B, we would probably biopsy whatever was looking not clean to make sure that we're treating the right cancer, right type of cancer, right subtype, etc. And then if it was the same type of cancer, and then they would consider that, I think the term was refractory. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly. Refractory. Hopefully that made sense. Lymphoma, if that's what it is, then he would probably refer me to another doctor, somewhat local, that is a specialist in refractory lymphoma. In other words, you had it, you were treated, and it came back or it got stronger in a different way. And then there are other treatment options. He mentioned a few of them, like bone marrow transplant and T-cell something. And then there was a couple other chemo cocktails, stronger chemo cocktails. But he would, if that was the case, he would refer me to this other doctor, which he mentioned the name, but there's no reason for me to tell you guys that. Oh, and also I'm taking a drug. I had been taking a drug called allopurinol. He said he got a request from the pharmacy to refill it, but he said he wasn't going to refill it, and if I still had them, I could stop taking them. So, and the reason was, here we go. Allopurinol is a medication that addresses extra uric acid in the system so that it does not overload your kidneys and your bladder and all those systems. And the reason why you would have extra uric acid is because when you take the immunotherapy Rituxan and it kills all of the lymphoma cells, then there's an influx of uric acid and other byproducts of those dead cells. And so they give you that medication to protect your organs as they're killing the cancer, which totally makes sense. And then what he said, it also made sense, was, when we did the first treatment, that's when you had the most cancer cells. That's when you're going to have the most of those products. As we go further and further, he's like, even he's hoping in his mind, I think, that this sixth treatment, there is no cancer. And we're just, crossing the T's and dotting the I's and putting a bow on it. This is just making absolute sure there's nothing teeny-weeny microscopic. But, so therefore, he doesn't feel that there will be any of those massive byproducts because we've already killed the majority of the cancer. That all made sense to me, and I said, okay, I'm stopping that pill, because, I'm a fan. I'm not taking extras. He also said I could take anything that I wanted, eat anything I wanted, or take anything I wanted over the counter, medications, etc. He's like, well, what else are you taking? I said, I have a multivitamin, my blood pressure meds, and the allopurinol, which I'm stopping. And I'm taking Colace. That issue is real with chemotherapy. I'll just put that out there. Got to keep everything going. No matter how much fluid you're drinking, it's still not enough. You got to help it along. All right, so what else do I have for you? Is that all my doctor news? Yes, that is all my doctor news. I have one more bit of information, somewhat related, somewhat not related. I decided that I'm going to try over the next couple days to see if I can get a COVID vaccine #1 within the next week, before my next treatment. And then my second shot would be after my treatment, after I've started to feel better again. That's my thought. Because as far as I feel and as far as my immune system feels, this next week coming up is the best I'm going to be until after I'm done with treatment for some time. So that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to see what I can do. Around us, there's some pharmacies that you can go directly to their websites. And if they have availability, you can schedule. And from what people I've spoken to, they were able to schedule on a Wednesday or Thursday for that upcoming weekend. So I might be able to get it scheduled. We'll see. Fingers crossed. All right. So what else can I tell you about? That's my doctor news. I have other doctor news. It's a little bit of a secret. I don't know if I should tell you. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on that. No, that was not a nice teaser, so I'll tell you. So we got a call yesterday or the day before from Bill's dialysis center. They are going to be administering COVID vaccine for 2 days next week. And Bill decided he would get the vaccine. So Bill is going to get his first vaccine next week. And then 3 weeks after that, he'll get his second vaccine. And it's going to be at the dialysis center. So it will be with medical professionals. He won't have to wait. And pretty awesome. And it fell in his lap. He did not ask for it. So I was like, come on, man. He didn't go to any websites and sign up. It just bloop right in his lap. But that's the way of the world. In any case. So we'll see. And I think our boys are considering vaccination too. And we said, we would support whatever they wanted to do. Just make sure it doesn't impact their schoolwork. Don't get don't get the vaccine on a day you have something due, or don't miss class to go, that kind of thing. So we're working on that. All right, so let's get into I think that was it. We'll get into the to-do list and the to-do list. So my to-do list was a little bit disappointing. I didn't get everything that I wanted to get done today. I got some other things done, but not all the things I wanted to do. So let's talk about that. Ta-da, I worked. I hydrated, although not great. I'm only in the 50s, so I got some work to do. I crocheted some more. I think I'm about a quarter done with my project. That's not bad. That's going to take a little while. It's a little bit bigger, and also I'm not, don't have a lot of time to crochet right now. I'm working and all that other stuff. I prepared my questions for the doctor, obviously. I just talked to you about them. I actually took off to the doctor today. He had a doctor's appointment. I forgot to put it on my list. Oops. That took a little bit of my time today. So definitely I'm giving myself some grace. I loaded the dishwasher. I have not yet run it. We still have some more loading to do. And I started to investigate vaccine locations and how to register. So that is what I did today. Ta-da! All right. To do, must. Work. Hydrate. Porridge plus, I did not prepare today. Roasted pecans, I did not prepare today. Balsamic vinaigrette, I did not prepare today. And that's my list for tomorrow. So hopefully I can get that done tomorrow. My to-do would love to do crochet and clean. All right, so that's my to-do list. Oh, I forgot, on my to-do list, I did walk over a mile on Charity Miles today. Let's keep going. We have 18 folks on our team. Yay, team. If you'd like to join our team, you're welcome to join our team. Here's our team name, and there's a link down below in the description box. Our team has collectively moved 1,247 miles. Way to go, team. Double thumbs up. Proud of you. Keep on moving. Great job. All right, ta-da, to do Charity Miles. Boom. All right, if you're just here for story time, thank you so much for coming today, and we will see you tomorrow. Daily symptoms and statistics. Remember, every day is a gift. Live it. We'll see you tomorrow.